Good afternoon. I think you're probably already started on YouTube here. So again, that's the way it kind of works. Going to go ahead and start the Facebook Live here on my page. Let's see here. I think it's going to go live everywhere. That's kind of the way it's been going lately. But just figured we don't have a newscast, so I'd sit here and talk to you guys about the weather we have going on this evening. Maybe help you plan or cancel your plans, maybe. I don't think we need to cancel any plans right now. Wow. Let me check some other stuff here. Yeah, again, it goes live on all of the platforms here. What we're looking at is just some stronger thunderstorms out there. This is typical. This is what pretty much we forecast. We've got an area back here to the west of the shoals. These storms are stronger because the atmosphere is a little more unstable over there. In fact, I'll go ahead and show that to you. As we look at these storms, these are weakening as they move back into Florence and Russellville. However, it's going to take a while for it to stop raining. I think the rain's coming back. So with this rain coming back into the area, it's going to dampen things probably for the next hour or two, maybe. As we go back over here towards the Huntsville metro area, kind of a break in the heavier rainfall. The bigger thunderstorms are now over into Jackson County, up here in around Timms Ford Lake. Let me stop that and put the analyst on there again. So overall, very heavy rain. And that's the two primary threats here in Jackson County. As you hear the thunder, the acoustics are pretty good out there, so you can hear a lot of that rolling thunder going on in the Huntsville metro area. So taking a look at velocity, there's some gusty winds up here. I'd say these are probably close to 45 miles an hour. Let's see here, 44. So strong gusty winds. This is some outflow to this thunderstorm. This is just east of High Top. It's going to move towards South Pittsburgh and Jasper. And if you're in Scottsboro, you can just definitely see the dark clouds off on the horizon to the west. But these storms, overall, they're moving more to the northeast than they are to the east. But there's a slight movement to the east with this area near Woodville and Gurley through the Paint Rock Valley. Very heavy rain, frequent lightning, and again, a gust wind up to 40 or 45 miles per hour will be possible. But overall, we're not expecting a whole lot of severe weather. We're not really expecting any severe weather. The primary concern of any severe weather would be the potential of a downburst. Donna checking in from Phil Campbell. Good afternoon, Donna. Friday the 13th. Take a look at our hail potential. Not much. Looks like they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm here, probably for that reason of a possible downburst. So, I really don't, I mean, the thing about these storms is, I don't think it's probably producing a downburst and that's it. It's only severe for 4 or 5 minutes, kind of catching the downburst cycle there, but I really don't. Again, I don't see the threat for severe weather. I just think that's another typical thunderstorm that's about to weaken. Same thing we've had all day. It does not have hail with it. Again, when it's this warm, I say maybe penny-size hail. I don't think it's got hail. It's got pea-size hail, if anything. So, again, probably a wind gust to 45 or 50 miles an hour, unless it has a microburst, which there's nothing attached to this. Yeah, so anyway, we've got a strong thunderstorm over here, and we get severe thunderstorm warnings a dime a dozen in the summertime. There's no rotation in that at all. This is a downburst potential here with that storm. Also, as you get west of Moulton and Russellville, just heavy rain moving towards Joe Wheeler State Park, Lucy's Branch, those areas. You bet, Linda. Linda says, thanks for the update. Once again, no real severe weather here. Again, this is probably a downburst over here in northern Jackson County. We'll go into the forecast here in just a second. But again, very heavy rain, possibility of a downburst wind there. And we get this in the summer months. There's a lot of them. That's why people ignore severe thunderstorm warnings so much, is because we get so many of them. And again, I think that's probably just a really strong storm capable of isolated wind damage of 50 miles an hour or so. So let's get into the forecast. Go hour by hour here. Yeah, very warm and humid. This is the latest model guidance. And it basically has, I think it's a little behind as far as the shoals, but the general idea is by 7:30, a lot of this stuff's going to be over with. And as we go to 9 o'clock, it really fades away. So the later in the evening your plans are, the more likely you're going to be drying out. And then as we shift our attention to tomorrow, models are kind of focused on the northwest corner of the state, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, Pickwick Lake area, Waterloo. We'll see. Again, the models are never going to be 100% accurate. They're really not even close to being 60% accurate a lot of times on these setups. But they show us this setup. So what's likely going to happen is we're going to get showers and storms late tomorrow morning into the afternoon. And this is why I tell people not to cancel plans, because if you're over here in the northeast corner of the state, even down towards Coleman, Decatur, Arab, Albertville, you may wait several hours before these showers and storms even move in. We kind of get this early afternoon. So the late afternoon, early evening hour, we may get rain cooled, but then it tries to bring more of these showers and storms in around 7 o'clock Saturday evening into the metro area and moves those to the east. But again, I think a lot of this is just going to be watch, wait, and see what happens. Jan is checking in. Yeah, it's getting a little noisy out there. So we're going to check in on this thunderstorm over here one more time. Some of you may be checking in on this a little bit later, not necessarily live. I'm not going to continue this much longer. Again, I'm just giving you guys a basic weather update since we don't have a newscast. I don't see anything. This is a downburst of maybe 50 miles an hour. A lot of lightning. The most dangerous part of this storm here is the lightning that's going on with that storm. And this is downburst wind, which may be at 50. There's 46. So again, we're right by the radar. We've got ground truth here, and that does not show me any severe wind gusts. But the odd thing about some of these trees that have fallen this year is they all seem to be rotten at the bottom. A lot of them snapped off at the bottom. Of course, there have been some wind gusts over 80 that have produced more of the uprooted trees. But recently, some of these trees have just basically snapped. I'm going to let you guys go. Again, we've got the severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to get these will happen every now and then. The Weather Service will see something on the radar, trigger the warning. And a lot of times, when you're looking at downbursts, a lot of times the warning's coming out after the downburst has already happened, because that's just the nature of it. It's really hard to time once you see, due to gravity, once you see that downburst coming down, it's going to hit the ground probably by the time the weather radio goes off. But no tornado threat at all. So we don't have really barely any shear at all. But we do have some strong storms out there. Don't get me wrong. A lot of lightning. In fact, lightning is probably the biggest issue with that particular thunderstorm. And these will all start to fade away. A little bit more development south of Albertville. We'll watch that. But again, thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great weekend, and happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Father's Day forecast looks a little bit better. Maybe some isolated thunderstorms, but definitely better than the 70% chance we had earlier. So again, thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great weekend.